All right. Gentlemen, WonderCon 2024.
It's happening.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back. I feel like we just left. I feel like we're in the same hotel room
Yeah.
that we were in last year.
But no balcony.
This one's not as nice.
Oh, that's true. No balcony and no coffee pot.
Yeah.
They took our pot away.
It's my fault. I had platinum last year. I do not have it this year. I'm only a gold elite. Therefore, we've been relegated to the back alleys.
Yeah, now I have to get used to leeching off of gold elites.
Not the same level. But anyways, just thought we would take some time to chat about what we're looking forward to this weekend. A very different WonderCon this year. Last year was
Stacked,
to say the least. We had some Daniel Warren Johnson, Stan Sakai. We had a lot of really amazing. I said Daniel Warren Johnson. I almost said it twice in 10 seconds.
You need to say him twice.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Like, will he be summoned?
Yeah.
But this year it's a different animal, mostly because something about leap year and pushing the weekend to Easter weekend, which,
Bad choices were made.
What are you going to do? So it's like a low-key con.
Yep.
Like my prep for this was go through the panels, go through the artist alley, see what's going on. There's definitely people here that I'm excited to see. Gail Simone is here. I've never met Gail Simone. I feel like I got to pay respects to that beautiful bear.
You have to kiss the ring.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
To be inducted
and
into
it's going to be a
Comics
huge year for Gail with all the X-Men stuff going on.
Right.
So I imagine her line's going to be significant.
Yeah.
So that might be a good Friday stop.
Yes.
Yes. But we have a friend now who is an artist, a professional artist. What, with a pro badge?
Yes.
That's incredibly exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, we're very excited to go to Eamon Winkle's panel. It's his panel.
Yeah.
Magma Comics is coming along.
Sure.
Some like little names, like I think his name is Jackson and Colin are also going to be there.
Yeah, the Hive Mind.
Yeah. But really excited to listen to that panel about the principles of necromancy coming from Magma Comics. Super excited for Eamon because this is his first ongoing. We met Eamon last WonderCon.
Yeah.
And
a lot's happened for him.
A lot has happened.
It's really exciting to see. It's nice to see, a good kid make good.
Yeah.
And that comic, we've had a chance to read it, and it is exceptional, and it really makes use of his talents.
And his talents being drawing exceedingly creepy,
terrifying
images that will stay burned into your brain, like the devil mask in Exorcist painting. Pans to darkness, and then you just see the face in the background.
Yeah.
And so remind me of the Eamon origin story here. Did we really meet him at WonderCon? Y'all know him before that?
We met him at WonderCon through Jesse.
Yeah, through Jesse.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And I'm trying to remember if I had met Eamon at San Diego Comic-Con before WonderCon.
The previous year?
Yeah,
maybe.
I feel like I did briefly, but it solidified at WonderCon last year.
Because Jesse had told us about him, and then Eamon showed up because he was also getting Daniel Warren Johnson's sketch done, and he had his portfolio.
That's right. Yeah.
And he showed it to us, and at that moment, all three of us were like, "This dude's gonna crush it."
You took one look at that portfolio and you just knew that there was like a next level talent here, and you were envious for his discovery. Someone's going to get a hold of him, and then they're going to feel great, and Magna's going to have a great time with him. But this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I'm really excited to see how the panel goes, and we were talking about it a bit last night, right? We had the opportunity to get some dinner together and hang out, and it's a very different experience for Eamon to be here without his portfolio. Like for artists that are trying to get into the scene, they know very well what the usual rigmarole is, right? Like you show up with your portfolio, you book some time slots, you get that feedback, you show them some pages, you show them whatever you got, and then you hustle, and you grab some interior background or something like that. Like you get like little piecemeal work here and there, and now Eamon did not have to bring his portfolio this time. He's just here as
He's naked.
He's naked. He's here bringing just his professional badge, and somebody's waiting on him. And we were joking last night that they're not going to let him into his own panel. They're like, who is this guy?
I want to take one moment. We mentioned Jesse Tapia II, who sadly is no longer with us. that was like one of the great things about him is he was so entrenched in this medium and on all sides of this medium that he
Right.
always knew where the rad people were.
Yes.
He was so generous to connect you with those rad people.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that like our relationship, our friendship with Jesse kind of continues on through those discoveries, through Eamon, and our friendship with him.
Yeah, and I mean he was just such a genuine person.
Yeah.
Like I met him very briefly at WonderCon, and then I think actually at the previous Comic-Con as well. But just very briefly, that boisterous energy, that very much like, hey, you're into this, you should talk.
Yeah,
like you
exactly.
two, like I know this guy, he's doing some rad work here or whatever, and so yeah, just a immensely genuine person.
Yeah, he hasn't even been gone a year yet.
I know.
Like
It's
so criminal.
Seeing that message online. It's still hard to comprehend he's not around.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Like my first reaction was text Jesse.
Yeah.
And I did and did not get the reply.
Yeah.
And that was gut wrenching.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got to enjoy WonderCon and all other cons for him.
Right. Yes, his legacy carries on with the enjoyment that we'll have this weekend, and so we're going to be looking forward to the Magma Comics panel.
Signing that they're going to do a quad signing with all that entire creative team. So Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, Eamon Winkle, and then I keep flip flopping the name. So it's Derek Robertson or Robert
Derek Robertson.
Derek. I don't know why my brain.
Robert Derrickson. That's somebody else. That's an evil twin.
Extremely well known creator. That for some reason my brain is like, let's flip flop those first two letters of the names.
We didn't really talk to Eamon about it, but how wild it must be to see your designs then reinterpreted by somebody like Derek Robertson, creator of The Boys, if you don't know. And then, panel-wise, for me, I'm going to do a few movie and TV things. They've got a couple of Star Trek panels I want to check out. The Strangers prequel, they're doing a panel. I'll probably go to that. I always say I'm going to go to these panels. I have plans for these panels, and then I end up just spending the entire time at dollar bins.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah. There's a few spotlights I want to check out. There's the Mark Wolfman spotlight.
Yeah.
There's a Colleen Duran one. There's also a Gail Simone one. There's a lot more like creator, like how-to panels, I feel like, this year too.
Yeah. Last year, was that where we saw Jason Aaron?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was such a good panel
really
last
good.
year. And that was before, obviously, the Ninja Turtles announcement and Action Comics, and he's having a great time this last year.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in checking out some of the spotlight panels, and then also there's the McFarlane Toys panel.
Yes, yeah.
I believe they're going to be doing some giveaways. I'm a sucker for some toys, so especially if I get them for free. Free stuff is always great.
My favorite price of things.
Yes, my free $99. And then I'm mainly here to just look around and to connect with indie creators, and that's we were mentioning it is a different kind of vibe and pace of show this year, but honestly I welcome it. I feel like it's a great appetizer to the con season, to be honest. And I know, Brad, you've already hit a couple of shows. Your con season.
This is my second con. I went to Awesome Con in Washington D.C.
Okay.
And I don't want to. My mom told me never to say anything bad about people if you have nothing nice to say, or whatever the heck that phrase is.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
it really stuck.
Yeah.
And if you want to get a signature from William Shatner or John Boyega or whomever, some celebrity, it's a great con. But it's a signature con. If you want to get comic books, there's like 3 booths.
Wow.
And you can look at them in 15 minutes, and then your day's done.
Wow.
Now, the panels are fun. You can find something like the Kung Fu Couples Counseling panel, for example, at Awesome Con.
Those guys.
And that was great. But WonderCon is WonderCon. It's very different than Awesome Con.
Yes.
And it's very different from, San Diego or New York Comic Con. This is only my second time coming, but based on last year, it's just a much more, relaxed and friendly con.
Yeah.
Everybody's. It's a community con.
It is 100% a community con, and the one of the major benefits, of course, is the proximity that we have. We talked about this last year as well. I mean, you get to walk out the front door of the hotel, and you are in the concourse.
Yeah. It might be the only reason I'm doing the con, frankly.
Yeah,
I fly across the country just so I can experience what it's like to step out your door and into a convention center.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then grab like a burrito from a food truck on your way,
which we can see from our window.
Yeah.
Which we'll be doing here in just a little bit.
The gauntlet of food trucks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, just kind of shopping around a little bit. I've got a couple things I'm looking for. Last year, one of the great regrets was not picking up that Transformers movie poster. So I'm on
vintage
original. So I'm on the hunt for that. I'm on the hunt for some Sonic comic books to complement my Mega Man collection that I have, and maybe some manga.
What era of Sonic are you collecting here?
Sonic Universe, I'm willing to go a bit older, but I'm mostly looking for the Worlds Unite.
Okay.
Because that's the Mega Man Sonic crossover, and so there were a number of issues on the Sonic side. With some really cool sprite variants and things like that.
Yesterday I went to Revenge of in LA, and they had a ton of Sonic comics, but it was all mostly like the newer stuff.
Oh yeah,
they're overstocked basically.
I'm looking for the older stuff.
Okay.
Older stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, and honestly, just being able to sink my teeth into the indie creator area. Lance and I think we'll probably be doing some interviews over there and just connecting with some creators and checking out new projects. And
last year I discovered Ben Soto at the Indie Creator Corner. He did what the heck was that comic called? Skull Bunny? Super cute, fun, humorous adventure comics. But since then, he's been doing the artwork for NECA of the Ninja Turtles boxes.
Oh,
so
nice.
The Space Usagi figure, that's his cover art, and the new Samurai Usagi that's his cover art. And I freaking love what he's doing with the box art, so I definitely want to seek him out. And I would point you guys to him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
great prints at his booth.
Yeah, custom art is also
There's a few creators and artists here that I've been following on social media for a while now. There's Nine Monkeys, which you can find on Instagram. Ryan Barry, he recently had a Transformers #1 variant that was epic. He's able to his mechs, his mechanical design is unbelievable. You can see all these inner workings of robots, of mechs, and it is hyper, not realistic, but you can just see the level of detail that is put into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of lines on those pages.
Yeah. I think it's something that Daniel Warren Johnson has said before, where it's after he had his kids, there was a lot less lines on the page.
Yeah.
so clearly Ryan does not have children because there's lots of lines still on these pages.
They'll fall away in time.
Yeah.
There's also the.
It's gone.
Came and went. Whatever that thought was, I put it on the ship.
I'm going to be sad that you will not be walking around with giant bags of Funko.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, Funko's not here, right?
Yeah.
Another. I don't want to say nail in the comment. That sounds very gruesome, but that's another reason why it's a bit slower. I think Funko's not here. There are a handful of other creators that aren't here, but yeah, that was a good time. I got to connect with the Funko creators and get a handful of exclusive.
Honestly, I looked at you differently after all those Funkos. I was like, oh man, he's in it to win it.
Yeah.
With Funko.
Yeah. Well, some of them. I mean, and I showed you the video. That video of the Funko days that they did here last year was wild. It was a straight out of Black Mirror, people with shirtless, just begging for those exclusive pops. I couldn't believe it, but yeah.
I bet you those people will still be here, and I'm sure we're going to see some Funko Pops.
Oh yeah, there's vendors.
Every other booth will still have Funko.
Yeah, they'll still be here for sure.
But will I be able to get that gelatinous cube?
No, but I was able to get one. Made some good money on eBay.
I bet you did.
I bet
you did. So you're looking for Sonic stuff. Are any comics that you're looking for, Lance?
Yeah, so the grail goal for this trip is New Teen Titans #2. So first Deathstroke and
Yeah.
first cameo of Trigon.
Yeah, what price are you looking for that comic? What's your range?
I think a solid near mint copy raw goes for like $150.
Okay.
And so I brought a few books that have more value than that, potentially to trade for or put towards also putting a little bit of cash.
And
We talked about the trade. Yeah.
How confident are you that you'll acquire one?
I mean, it's a really common book out there because there's plenty of printings for it. It's just Teen Titans is probably my favorite team in comics.
Yeah.
And I have all the first appearances of the Teen Titans except for Dick Grayson and Robin because that book is ridiculously expensive. But I have all the other ones. I have the first appearance of the Teen Titans, the first iteration of it. And this is kind of the last grail from that team I need aside from first Donna Troy.
Okay.
But so that is the goal. It's very attainable. And even last year, I saw copies over here, and they were priced at like $100, but they just weren't in the condition that I would want them to be in.
Mm.
I either want it to be like near mint, or I can find like a grungy copy of it and pay way less, and I'm fine with that too.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And then that'll become your undercopy for your inevitable...
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, because I don't care about having this one graded. And I brought graded books specifically to trade for a raw copy of this.
Okay. Oh, I wish you luck.
Yeah, I just remembered I also brought David Mack's Kabuki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have a copy of Kabuki that I'd like him to sign.
Yeah.
So I'll probably swing by his booth and get his signature there. He's doing a cover for Vox Machina Origins, a new issue of Vox Machina Origins coming out, and it is beautiful. It's the one that I sent you.
Yeah,
Lance, of
it's really
Keyleth. It's amazing. So I'm kind of hoping that he has a copy of that here, because that would be a cool one to have framed on the wall, I think. But
Yeah, most of the creators, when they have books that are about to come out at cons, they already have it. Like when we were at
Tony Fleece too.
Yeah, when we were at San Diego Comic-Con, we not this last year, but the year before, I think 2022 was when Ghost Cage. The trade was about to come out, but
we got it.
Dragotta had copies of it at the Felix Comic Art booth.
There's a comic that I wish more people would read.
Ghost Cage?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ghost Cage.
Is unbelievable.
Yeah, like that is an unbelievable comic. That is a genius level work happening there,
Mhm.
and it really flew under the radar. So if you're listening, go get Ghost Cage.
Yes, read Ghost Cage.
It's like a $10 book, right? Like 16?
It's not expensive.
Not expensive.
It's not expensive at all.
It's worth every dollar.
Yeah.
Three issues. It's brilliant.
But like 3 hardy issues.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they were hefty.
They were,
Yeah.
It reads like it's very much manga inspired.
Yes.
And so it is dense with lore and character development, and you get so much of a story. And when we spoke to Nick, to Dragotta at San Diego, we asked, like, so there's 3 issues, like, the arc has ended, but there's plenty of story left to tell. And he said, yeah, there's plans for more, but I don't know how long that's going to take for us to get back.
It's going to be a while.
Because it did not blow up the way it should have. That is
they're waiting for the zeitgeist, I think, to come back around. But like, if you're a fan of manga of Osamu Tezuka, like there's definitely some Astro Boy echoes in the design. Like it's.
But also, if you're not,
yeah.
don't be put off by those references, because
Yeah.
is also a huge Ditko fan,
Yeah.
and you can see a lot of American comics in that book too.
Yes,
It's a great amalgam. Just crack it open.
Yeah.
Just
look at it. You'll know very quickly
Yeah.
if you like it or not within the first few pages.
And if you don't like it, you don't like it.
And you should have read East of West, right?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
You know, it's the guy who does East of West. So.
I have a custom Mega Man X.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
From Dragotta on my wall. It's
Yeah.
one of my prized possessions.
Have either of you read the Once Upon a Time at the End of the World?
Yes.
With Jason Aaron?
Yes.
And Dragotta does stuff on that too,
Yes,
and I
he
didn't
does.
realize that.
Yeah.
I got to get back to that.
I had Aaron sign one of my copies of Once Upon a Time at the End of the World.
Yeah,
He had his variant.
At
the raindrop.
last
WonderCon,
WonderCon, and he
yeah.
gave them out to people that brought stuff for him to sign.
Yeah, and well, I got my first issue from Jason Aaron
Yeah.
because I asked a question at his panel that he deemed okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
He's like, okay,
Valid.
yes,
Valid.
valid.
here's a copy.
Stamp. You
Yeah.
get it.
When I brought my Thor Omni for
Yeah.
him to sign, he also gave me one of those copies.
Yeah. I mean, he's really excited to be doing things outside of Marvel.
Yes.
You know, he feels rejuvenated.
Yeah. Freedom.
While Marvel was like, please, Jason Aaron, come back.
He's like, I'll come back for Scrooge.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
They're looking at his.
That's like my most anticipated comic of the year.
Scrooge.
The Scrooge, the Jason Aaron written Scrooge comic. Oh my god! Yes, give it to me.
That sounds like a fun time. They're looking at this monolith of like Thor and Avengers, and they're like, "We need more of this."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "How about Scrooge
Yeah.
instead?" And they were like, "Okay, sure."
Love it.
Oh my gosh! You reminded me when we were talking about the creators bringing books along. We had our interview with Tony Fleece the other day, which was awesome. Go and listen to it if you haven't. We're on Comic Book Keepers.
I will do that.
Please do. It was a great conversation. We had a fun time with Tony, and we should be getting some preview copies for Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
So they're coming out here pretty soon, and this is a book that Lance and I both adore thoroughly.
Unbelievably
It's
good.
super cool premise. Young boy discovers he has cartoon powers, and his cartoon grandfather shows up at the end of the book to take him on an adventure.
He's like an old prospector type.
He's like
It's Yosemite Sam.
he's an analog for Yosemite Sam.
Got it.
And it's just the way that the storytelling is done. It's just an amazing.
The premise makes it sound like it's.
You looked at that.
I did. I was like, did I hit record? Did I hit record? I think I hit record.
I hope so.
It
was so fun.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
good.
it's
We're good.
recording.
We're
It's good. We're good.
Uncanny Valley sounds like it's this gimmicky, funny, happy, fun time book, but it is surprisingly dark and thought provoking.
It has that depth, emotional depth.
It makes you consider familial relationships, single mothers and their child, how going through separation from close family members and how that affects you, and how being in a new town and being different segregates you from the other people in school and things that come from that. And it definitely is going to be an enjoyable read, but it's also going to make you think a lot. And I can't wait to see where it goes, because it's probably my favorite first issue that I've read so far this year.
And whoa, really?
Yeah.
That's big talk.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got to read this.
No, that goes to Dawn Runner 1 for me still.
I haven't
read
read
Helen of Windhorn.
And Helen of Windhorn? Yeah.
And Man's Best, number 1.
I haven't read Man's Best.
Freaking loved it. Jesse Lonergan.
Yeah. I like Helen of Windhorn is just beautiful because Bill Evely is a genius. I think the premise of Uncanny Valley gets me really excited, and that might make it even more enjoyable for me. But Helen of Windhorn is absolutely one of the best books I've read so far this year.
It's been a good year. Good year for comics.
It's
already.
only March.
Yeah.
Almost April.
Between Helen of Windhorn, Uncanny Valley, Local Man, also from Tony Fleece.
Yes.
Dawn Runner is supposed to be amazing, which I haven't read yet. Transformers has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
The outgoing issue 6 of Transformers, last illustrated by Daniel, is crazy. It is one of the best.
It's so funny. I read that issue, and I think because I was anticipating it so much, I was lukewarm on it when I first read it on a PDF, and I was like, okay. And then the single issue came out, and I read it again, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then I read it I was like, well, I'll take a couple days and I'll read the whole thing at once. And to see how he planted everything that happens in the 6th issue from the first issue on, it really won me over. As a whole piece, I was like, oh, no. I freaking loved his first arc of Transformers.
Yeah. There were panels in that 6th issue that I was reading the preview PDF on my phone.
Yeah.
And I put it down because I was it was breaking my brain.
So, minor spoilers for Transformers 6, but the Devastator splash page, when I read it on PDF with the Skybound logo,
it was broken.
Yeah, and it was broken. I was like, oh, that's going to look cool on the page, I think.
Right.
But when you do read it as a single issue and you turn that page, even knowing it's coming, now physically, that Devastator splash is probably the best splash in the first arc.
Wow.
And there's some pretty amazing splashes.
Yeah. I'm actually, speaking of Dawn Runner 1, I've only read it digitally, and there's a very similar circumstance in that, where the splash page for the intro, the title, is broken up like that, and I'm like, man, I want to see this on the page so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I'll find a vendor here who has some copies because I want to snatch that up.
I really wish publishers, and now I'm talking to all of you publishers right now, I really wish publishers would just give us a higher res. I know we're the press,
right?
But please give us a high res so we can actually see what's happening on this page, because so often you get a blurry mess, and it really detracts from the experience.
I think they should give us a higher res, but then just put like our names.
Yeah, like the way film
at the bottom of it,
happen.
just to show if we leak it,
Yeah.
never send us things again.
Yeah. I don't mind the stamp. I can get past the water stamp, but give me
High
some
quality
resolution.
Yeah, let me see that stamp in high res.
Anyway,
Let me see
this
the
is
do not distribute in crystal clear resolution.
That's the end of my privileged pressed rant.
How dare you send me free things that aren't to my standards?
Well, anything else before we go into our first? I think what we'll try to do is just provide some recaps of our finds and panels and learns and maybe some cool creators that we encounter. But anything else that we're wanting to plug or
I want to discover something new today. At this con. I think about last year. It's like I bought so many comics.
Yeah, you
last year.
did.
I went a little crazy. I'm
You
going to
got
try not to go that crazy this year. Good luck to me and my wallet.
This is going to be a narrator kind of like he was not.
But like when I think about all the books that I bought last year, the book that just springs to mind is Timothy Truman's Time Beavers.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what Time Beavers was beforehand, but I saw that like magazine format, that Tim Truman cover, and I was like, well, I got to get this. It was like $5. So I'm looking for this year's
more
Time
Crying
Beavers.
Freeman.
Well, I'm definitely looking for. I'm always looking for Crying Freeman. I never find Crying Freeman. Not the single issues. I'm looking for the trades.
Okay.
Those digest-sized Crying Freeman trades. If you see those, you got to text me.
Yeah. Okay. We will.
Well, that's the thing is, like last year on Sunday, I feel like all we did was dollar bin diving and then looking through the trades. And we found a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. And we had that fight with that guy. That fight.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was being a prick about how much he was selling some of his comics for.
Oh, right.
He was trying to sell some a TMNT collected, not digest size, but
phone book size.
Yeah, phone book size. But he had it on 400, and you looked it online and immediately bought for like $90.
I bought it in the convention center from eBay for $70.
Yeah. But like 10
and
feet away, 10 feet away from his booth.
Yeah.
That same person had an issue of Invincible that I was looking for, but it was way overpriced compared to what.
Yeah, I don't mind coming to a con and the guy has it more than it is on eBay, right?
Oh,
There's
for sure.
convenience,
You
right?
That's right there in front of
And
you.
you can charge even $30 extra if I really want it. Okay,
yeah,
but like 10 times the amount.
It was a lot. So, and that's why I was just like, "Are you able to come down to this much?" And I was just like, I'll have to pass on it because he went down like $2 off of a ridiculous price, and I was like, I think I'll pass. I'll just find somewhere else. And then he like put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, then go buy it somewhere else.
Yeah, he was pretty rude. He was pretty rude.
Yeah. Well, and then I did, and then I completed my run, and I got that book for like less than half of what he was.
And you told Robert Kirk?
And I told Robert Kirk
because you finished it that day.
Yeah, the day we all got to do a round table at San Diego.
That was a great round table.
That San Diego Comic Con.
I'm still mad for Lisa that her question didn't get answered. No, I think about it every day.
You know what? The truth is,
not every day. Once a week.
Like to me, like in the moment, I know Lisa was like super frustrated by that other journalist.
Yes.
But for me, listening to that episode, it's a blast. When he comes in, he compliments her and then changes the subject, and you can't hear Lisa, but I can hear Lisa. Just her blood boil in that moment, and it's a really delightful listen. So go
it's
listen
the sound
to it.
of a bull charging into a shop and just.
I hear her rage, and I just love it.
Yeah, it was such a special round table.
When we got in there, though, initially it was like
it was just us.
It was just us, you, Bradley, you're Brad, and
I'm Brad.
Lisa, and then it was just the creators of.
We're like, lock the doors.
We were seconds away from the perfect round table.
Yeah.
And again, no disrespect to the other gentleman. He's doing his own thing. He has his own perspective. He has his own questions that he wants to ask, but they were not aligned with what we were asking.
No.
Yeah.
But that was the fun thing about going in there because it was like a group of friends
Yeah.
that have a mutual love for this creator and this property, and then just being able to have a full-on conversation.
Yeah, yeah. But
It's the X factor of this creator.
And what I love about it, he asked questions that never in a million years any of us would have asked. But then, Sean Makowitz had the best answer for him.
He did.
Yeah.
And it made me just respect that whole Energon Universe crew all the more.
Yeah. It was a great time. Well, hopefully we'll have some similar memories.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll find some hidden gems over this
yeah.
weekend, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. So.
And Anaheim is such a cool location.
Yeah.
The convention center is right next door to Disneyland. You can see the Matterhorn from our window, practically. And I there's something about being under the shadow of the mouse that I just find really pleasurable.
That's the most capitalist thing.
I'll bow down to the mouse.
Oh.
I am a capitalist.
Yes,
and,
at heart. Yeah, it's both. It's something very
it's
Lovecraftian. There's very Lovecraftian about that.
It's psychotic when you drive into
Under the shadow.
Anaheim. Driving down from LA last night. It's sprawl, and then you come into this Disney block. And suddenly, every hotel is trying to look like some house out of Cinderella. And it's nefarious, and yet I'm 5 years old.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm 5 years old behind the wheel, and I'm like, I love Disney. I'm going to go buy the ears.
They're $99.
Yeah. Well,
they're $99?
No, they're expensive.
But they're expensive.
How much could it be, Michael? $10.
I hate coming here and not going to Disneyland.
True.
But if I did, I went once to Disneyland without Lisa, and it was such a mistake for our marriage. Yeah, a lot of recovery.
That's a lot of comic book couples counseling that need to happen after that.
A lot of comic book couples counseling had to occur after Brad enjoyed Disneyland himself.
Yeah, lots of selfies with the Disney.
And it is an incredibly lonely experience to be, a 40-year-old man in Disney. With my press speed pass, so I'm passing all these children in line.
You're like, see you, sucker!
Me, I'm going to drive the Millennium Falcon. You weren't there.
You don't even know. You're 6. You don't deserve this fandom.
Yeah. Oh man,
earn your stripes.
Yeah,
Great
I'm
times.
a toxic asshole. WonderCon.
WonderCon.